Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cavecast. We are deep into watching a Bob Ross painting video right now, which, if you have not gathered from the title, this entire episode is going to be about Bob Ross. There's a lot of nostalgia here. There's a lot of, there's artistic freedom and just artistic, just well-being.
I might not even be able to pay attention to you.
Do I need to shut it off?
We might have to. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I remember being a kid and seeing this guy.
Just diving right into it, huh?
I remember saying, I have a lot to say. So I remember being a kid seeing this guy that was teaching me how to paint. And I would think about that and I'd be like, I guess he is just moving his hand like this or whatever and stuff. But I was a kid. I didn't appreciate it.
Yeah.
There was nothing like that. And very recently, I got to actually sit down and watch one of his videos. And there's tons of things that you can find online with, people doing Bob Ross ASMR and things like that.
There's just all things in general about him.
The way he speaks, the way that he cracks jokes, and they're all in good fun, and he's just very wholesome and and everything. He's part of the holy trinity of of really nice guys, which one of them is Fred Rogers. And then Bob Ross is in there. Who's the can you remember who the third is?
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank, and everybody's the 7 people.
They probably already have the answer. They're like, dude, you didn't know it. No, let's see. Not Corona. People do cough on a norm. The Trinity.
Oh, and by the way, guys, wait, was it in the last one? The background?
It was, but it wasn't lit like this.
It wasn't lit. That's right. Yeah. It wasn't lit like this. Yeah, we're still working on it.
I remember Bob Ross, Fred Rogers, and Steve Irwin.
So all dead people.
Yes, they're all dead. Yeah.
Fucking course.
Well, hey, I look at it this way. It's the same way that Jason looked at me and was just like, dude, they just don't make them like that anymore, man. It's like Fred Rogers. Tonight's about Bob Ross, but it's one of those things where, you get to really just see people that genuinely just liked making other people happy.
Yeah.
And it was something just so nice and just being refreshing compared to what we're used to, even then, but especially now.
With you kind of briefly said something at the beginning where you said, you found all kinds of stuff a bunch of ASMR stuff too with him. He's almost like the originator of ASMR almost, I feel like.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Because he's got a soft voice. He doesn't whisper, but he's got that very calming.
This right here. It's so
subtle. He's not monotone.
No.
He's not monotone, but then the brush strokes, he's a little, got that sound and that, and then the smacking around, and he really focuses on that.
You know what's funny is
but that's him feeling the painting though.
Oh yeah. It's what I love is how he never has any idea on what he's even going to do. He's like, we're just going to throw some colors up here. We're just going to do this, we're going to try this. And
I've heard a lot of people say, Bob Ross paintings are all the same, several, couple well, it is. It's scenery. That's the point.
That's what he was good at.
And right. Look, he made reflection. What in the fuck is happening right now?
So obviously you guys can't see it. We can't show it or have sound due to copyright, but
sorry.
That's why we just have it in the background. But he is, Right now, what's happening is that he's just doing what every 2-year-old or me does whenever I have paint, is just poking it like this or dabbing and everything.
Do this. Get the remote, and we could at least say what episode it is if they want to look it up, because we always talk.
Oh, this is season 1, episode 1. It's the
joy of painting.
That's what his show was called, The Joy of Painting.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Duh.
Yeah. Which we're gonna find out. There's actually a staggering amount of episodes and seasons. You will not believe how many seasons and material that there is of Bob Ross. You probably could, if you watched one a day, it would take you a long time.
Yeah,
So-
I've heard the amount, but no. So yeah, I was just saying because we always talk about we'll tag this or we'll put, and we never do. So
But
I was
yes.
just gonna say we could at least say which one it is. So this is the very first one, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's I just clicked on the first one that was available, and it just said it's in 1X1. So it's first season and first episode, and this was already like he had already nailed it at this point. Like we're seeing the Bob Ross that started off, and literally his painting never like really changed. His techniques, grew over time, and he learned things, and I'm sure that he still was able. Happy accidents. That's what needs to happen is an entire happy accident ASMR episode. But it's staggering that I think that like when it comes to Bob Ross is that when I was a kid, the brushstroke thing, it's got this like really like hurts my teeth, or like the way that it will do that and stuff. But I quickly got over it when I just got lost in what he was doing.
Yeah.
And it became second nature to me. Like it didn't even come up anymore. And like, I didn't even think about it. I had to get over it a little bit when I watched it recently. I was like, oh God, that's right. I didn't like this at first. And we're good now.
Then that's why we like it.
Yeah. But no, I remember watching it as a kid and just being blown away that there was essentially a tutorial teaching you how to do something artistic.
Mm-hmm.
I not only look at him as, one of, if not the originator of ASMR, but also of tutorial videos that became a norm on YouTube. Where like, it's like back then you couldn't Google something. You couldn't, do anything like that. Like you said, you had to wait till Sunday to watch Bob Ross.
Yeah.
And you had to make sure you didn't miss it. Like,
right, dude. Like, bro, we used to have to do this thing where we would have to be like at home, like before like DVR and all that cool shit. Even that lame stuff. Now we didn't have that. I wanted to watch this, dude.
Stuff.
Yeah. I wanted to watch this, dude. I had to make sure I was on like PBS or I think he was on another channel too.
It was always a channel that like no kid would ever watch. It was like,
yeah.
There was PBS, obviously they had a lot of stuff, but
the other one was, I forget what it was.
It was always like channel 23 or so. It was like the most weird thing. Like my channels when I was a kid, I think was like 4, 7, 18, 21, and 32.
Yeah.
Those were like the channels I knew I would always cycle through.
I had to be there at like, it was a weird time too, like 11. Like, so, and then that's when I watched Bob Ross. But no, he's absolutely right. Like, you can just get lost, and
it's incredible. And I think that what
so
really,
many episodes.
And when we're done with the first episode, so we're about to see something happen in the next one when it comes up and plays. But I think what really blows me away about his paintings was that
1987.
Oh yeah. It's a long time ago, man.
Fuck you. I was 4.
I was negative. No, no, but it's impressive to me just, how staggering his detail is. I saw him create the trunk of a tree in an already, happy tree or whatever that he made with his blade. And he just scraped it slightly down the middle. He's like, we're just going to make sure you can see the trunk of the tree because remember, you would see that and you don't want to forget that.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you did that. Oh my God. Like it's
dude,
ridiculous.
I'm telling you, like he makes it seem like, bro, I was serious. What was it last night or whenever we were watching it? I'm going to go buy an easel. And
he also came up with a sketch idea for Bob Ross that completely fucking broke him. Like Eric does not wheeze laugh often, but when
it was me that thought of it, which is even funnier because I'm like laughing at my own joke like an idiot.
Oh God, no, it was just, we kept throwing different layers on it. It was, look, we're not going to go deep into it because I don't want this episode to become about that. I want Bob Ross to be remembered in a good way.
God damn it, Bridget. I said.
As the writer the producer looked at him and just uttered the words, "Oh fuck." So no, but Yeah, it was. I can't even remember what the hell we were talking about before then. Before we got into Bob Ross, about the Bob Ross goes ape shit thing. That's all you need to know about it. It's like everything else, the hilarity ensues from there. So it's great.
No, I think what we were talking about was like I had to be at the house, and then like we were talking about how in 1987, and then I was 4. And then I said, I don't know. I thought I had it for a second.
No, but I think
either way,
regardless. So no, but yeah, the Bob. Well, now that we've gotten lost in it, Bob Ross goes ape shit should definitely be a at least a sound bite or something that we should make, because that would be really great,
dude.
We'll go into it. Okay, so basically, what it was that it was this whole idea of that, like when he has the blade that he's scraping with. Imagine
that sounds like he's gonna poke a fucking hole through it.
And imagine there's two ways you can think that this sketch can go, and this is where the writing can either be brilliant or expected or semi both. Is when the blade goes through the painting and rips a big ass hole in it. Is it right when he started, or is it as soon as he was about to end? Because both suck royally.
Yeah, but he can just start with a new piece of canvas.
Like, no, imagine it was like he at least got like the blue, the pink, and the dark blue done.
No way, dude. He needs to be almost done with it. It needs to be like one of the last 3 steps he's doing.
What if it's
Pokes that hole.
What if it's okay? All right, I'm going really far. What if the furthest, what if the closest thing to him is a mailbox that he's never really tried before, but he's like trying to get it right? And the flag is what makes it happen. Like, because he's like, I've never really done mailboxes before. I've mainly only done trees, and well, they've been happy. So we don't know what's going to happen. And just silence just takes over the room. And essentially he would like grab the painting and just chuck it and start just destroying the set, and you're hearing the producers and like, you know, the director's like, Bob, calm down, shut up, Steve.
Bob, just calm down. Don't you tell me. Yeah, and you just hear the director.
I just had to make the mailbox. Like, it's just like something like that. So.
Yeah, dude. And we just kept throwing more shit at it.
Oh man,
God. I was losing it. But yeah, but for real, Bob Ross is that's what makes it so funny, because he's so calm. He's so calm, and just watch him like.
Well, it'll
snap.
It elicits an emotional reaction out of people, you know, watching somebody's emotions spike like that, because it's the whole Craig from Slipknot thing. Like when he pipes up randomly after a show, hasn't said a word in 3 years, and scares the shit out of Corey Taylor, because it's like you get that emotional response. So it's just, this is the complete polar opposite of that. And it's like, it's hilarious. There's not one bit of it that's not funny. It's so good. Like,
but no, that's what we were talking about.
And especially because he's so wholesome.
That's what we were talking about, that I was going to get stuff
God.
to do.
That's where this all started. Yeah.
I want to get stuff, and I'm going to come home. I'm going to sit down and have probably a adult beverage of some sort.
Make it a stiff one.
And yeah. And I'm going to pick an episode, and I'm going to find out all the crimson blue and royal whites and whatever the fuck covers.
He used one today. Excuse me. He used one today. I'm not kidding. The name of it was Van Dyke Brown. I was like, dude, like Dick Van Dyke. I'm like, I'd use that paint. Like, hell yeah.
Right.
You know,
so like, that's, you gotta put on another one.
Apparently it didn't autoplay it. So keep talking. You do
Damn it. But no, so that I really, because he makes you feel like you can do this. And
he's so good at teaching.
So I feel like if I get the 2 brushes he gets, couple canvases, and those like dull razor spatulas, and do that, like I just do a little scraping here, a little line right there, a couple fluffs with this. Pop, pop, pop. Happy tree over here and this motherfucker. Like, yeah, I can do that. I can't.
I think you can.
Bro, it's not gonna look like that.
No, I genuinely, I think you can.
I think
that if you were to take the time,
swoosh, 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 and he's like, "There's my look, it's a sunset mountaintop already." And like, how the fuck did you do that? You've got two colors.
He is such a minimalist when it comes to things, but he's so like he does so much. If this makes any sense, like he uses so little but uses it a lot. It's like the idea of like he just like his technique is so simple of how he does everything. Like we're gonna create bushes, we're gonna do these trees, we're gonna like it's just, everything about him is crazy.
Last night, this dude put in a whole like scenery of like snow and a couple trees and like the clouds and all this stuff, and then goes, let's just throw a barn over here. Like,
oh yeah, that was bullshit. There's no way that should have worked out that well.
I was like, what? What do you mean? Let's just throw a barn in here. And he went scrape, scrape, scrape. Oh, look, we've already got a fantastic. No, sorry, we've already got a fantastic shape of the barn.
What was it? He was like, oh, we're going to add a room on here that we're going to do something with here in a little bit. I'm like, what do you mean you're going to add a room? Like you had an idea and then you were like, no, not good enough.
Then he put like 7 layers of like, he was like, oh, no, this is the wood here. Now we're going to have snow over top of it. And then, oh, let's go ahead and put some icicles over here. And then now the door. And I was like, what the fuck? How did he just do that? All it was a bunch of brown for a second with like this weird outline.
Yeah, because he did the thing where he like, dude, for anyone if you've never seen Bob Ross, do yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor and
unsubscribe because we don't want you.
Wow.
That's how much I feel about it. Get one to work.
Or you could look him up for the first time and see what you're missing.
Nope. No, you have to watch him first, then subscribe back.
Wow. The Destroy Our Channel Challenge. All 7 of you unsubscribe and resubscribe. Let's see what happens to the algorithm. Now,
fuck it.
Hey, who knows what's going to happen? But no, it's so impressive. Just everything about a Bob Ross video is just awesome. Like it's the way that it's shot, the way that it's the way that it's edited, the way that it's produced, the way that it's recorded. It's insane.
It's a very simple looking like atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's dull, but I think that's the point, is because the focus is on him and the painting.
Yeah.
There is no background. There is no, color. It's dark for a reason. It's because he's the main focal point. So is his painting. And I think that's what makes it like really soothing as well, is that it's so simple and it's just, you can just sit there and be like, yeah, man, I'm just going to take a nap. Oh, where are we at? Oh.
Yeah, it's crazy when you check. Well, you can't just check out of a video of his and then check back in like 20 seconds later because the painting has completely changed.
Yeah.
It's like there is no back and forth or anything to that effect. Like you are dedicated for that half hour and you're watching Bob Ross like paint.
Because I've done that where like I've nodded off for like a minute or two and I'm like, oh, what? How did he do that?
Well,
where'd that come from?
Let's learn a little bit about Bob Ross, because I really didn't know much about him until today. I only looked up a few things, but this is just Wikipedia, just seeing all the information.
I know
that's
a
on
few
here.
things, I feel like, but probably nothing like super crazy that's on the list.
Let's see here. So Robert Norman Ross, born October 29th, 1942, passed away July 4th of 1995, was an American painter, art instructor, and television host. He was the creator of the host of the Joy of Painting, an instructional television program that aired from 1983 to 1994 on PBS in the United States, Canada, Latin America, and Europe. Rob subsequently became widely known via his internet presence. So the world then kind of learned more about who he was once the internet became a thing.
Man, I kind of call bullshit on that because it's like everybody knew who Bob Ross was, my guy.
Those are some pretty good countries to cover, though. As far as like,
I guess I'm just saying at least
for just TV, that's impressive.
I don't know. I feel like everybody that I've ever come across. Horse shit. Wrong one. Oh, I fucked up.
What were you looking for?
Where's the?
Holy this is getting way too chaos. What has this become? No,
I was doing that on purpose.
Which one? Which one do you want?
That one.
Yeah, because we both can hit them now. So hold on.
Cough.
Yeah. So sorry headphone users if you're using anything. So, but
that's why I was like, I'm just gonna start hitting them like an elevator.
Here it comes.
No, I feel like everybody that I have ever honestly talked to about Bob Ross they know exactly who I'm talking about. Honestly, even my age and some like younger crowds, like before internet was like a big thing, they still knew.
Yeah.
So I kind of I guess you're right. I guess all around the world, because once the internet, that really does open up a lot of doors, but
Bob Ross
pretty well known. I feel like
he's an icon. Like Bob Ross is kind of like knowing what peas and carrots are. Like it's just like
I feel like that's how everybody just kind of knew him. That's interesting.
Let's see here. Trying to see here. So his early life, he was born in Daytona Beach, Florida. Awesome. To Jack and Ollie Ross, a carpenter and a waitress, respectively, and raised in Orlando, Florida. As an adolescent, Ross cared for injured animals, including armadillos, snakes, alligators, and squirrels, one of which was later featured in several episodes of his television show.
I did know that.
He had a half-brother, Jim, whom he mentioned mentioned in passing on his show. Ross dropped out of high school in the 9th grade. While working as a carpenter with his father, he lost part of his left index finger, which did not affect his ability later to hold the palette while painting.
Right.
So that's crazy. Apparently, he served in the military.
I was just going to say, I knew he served the military.
It says 1961, 18-year-old Ross enlisted in the United States Air Force. Wow, okay. And was put into service as medical records technician. He rose to the rank of Master Sergeant and served as the first sergeant of the clinic at, Eielson, I'm going to butcher this, Eielson Air Force Base in Alaska, where he first saw the snow and mountains that later appear as a reoccurring theme in his paintings.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay.
He developed his quick painting technique during brief daily work breaks. Having held military positions that required him to act tough and mean, the guy who makes you scrub the latrine, the guy who makes you make your bed, the guy who screams at you for being late to work, Ross decided he would not raise his voice when he left the military. Good for him. So he does, or he did know how to like let loose a little bit.
He had to.
Just it's
that's
insane.
Kind of, again, we're not going to focus on him, but that's kind of what I've known and heard about Fred Rogers.
Yes,
I've heard that too. That the show was like his therapy to like decompress from like the like war and stuff. But that's almost kind of like that was an interesting thing about Eminem. He didn't swear at his house when Haley was growing up. He didn't, and people were like laughed at him and stuff. And they're like, "You swear all the time." He's like, "Yeah, it's my job.
Right.
And that's what I do in my music."
Yeah, and that's I leave work at work. And home at home. Like
now, I'm sure he does. Now she's a full grown adult. Like I'm sure it's different now. But at that time, when his kids were, because he had his niece too. But like when he had his kids, like he didn't swear at the house. Wow. I found that really interesting. But Mr. Foulmouth Eminem. So Mr. Tough Guy screaming Bob Ross. That's his thing now, is that he didn't want to yell anymore.
Yeah, it's so wild when you truly understand what someone's origin is and where they come from. You would never think Bob Ross would ever do or say maybe the things he did in the military, but it's like he was in the military and he had his time and he was done. He moved on. It's insane.
Yeah.
So this is very long. We're gonna kind of skim through here on this part as far as his career as a painter. But it says during his 20-year Air Force career, Ross developed an interest in painting after attending an art class at the Anchorage USO Club. He found himself frequently at odds with many of his painting instructors who were more interested in abstract painting. Ross said, "They tell you what makes a tree, but they wouldn't tell you how to paint a tree." Ross was working as a part-time bartender when he discovered a TV show called The Magic of Oil Painting, hosted by a German painter named Bill Alexander. He used a 16th century painting style called alla prima, Italian for first attempt, widely known as wet on wet, that allowed him to create painting within 30 minutes. Let's see. Ross studied and mastered the technique, began painting, and then successfully selling Alaskan landscapes that he would paint on novelty gold mining spans. I cannot fucking read tonight. Eventually, Ross's income from sales surpassed the military salary. He retired from the Air Force in 1981 as a master sergeant. Then basically talks about he went home, did his thing. This was kind of cool. It says Ross was noted for his permed hair, which he ultimately disliked, but kept after he had integrated it into the company logo. So he didn't really like it that much, but it was already selling it for him for who it was.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Let's see here. The origins of the TV show Joy of Painting are unclear. It was filmed at the studio of the PBS station WIPB in Munis, Indiana. The show ran from January 11th, 1983 to May 17th, 1994, but reruns still continue to appear in many broadcast areas and countries, including non-commercial digital subchannel networks, especially in it says the United Kingdom. The BBC reran episodes during the COVID-19 pandemic of 2020 while most viewers were in lockdown at home. So good on them. So let's
Smart,
see here.
dude. It was on Netflix, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he should be 100% able to be free for everyone to look at for all of his stuff. But Arctic critic Mira Shore compared Ross to Fred Rogers, host of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, noting that Ross's soft voice and the slow pace of his speech were similar. It's so crazy. We're gonna do an entire episode on Fred Rogers next. It's gonna be awesome, or eventually. So
yeah, I'm not a big Fred Rogers, but yeah, we could do that. I don't know much about. I didn't really watch him.
Well, I can teach you a few things because it'll be good. So
I mean, I watched some things, but
let's see here. As far as his personal life, it said Ross had one son, Robert Stephen Steve Ross, with his first wife, Vivian Ridge. Steve, also a talented painter, occasionally appeared on The Joy of Painting and became a Ross certified instructor. Steve appeared on camera in the last episode of season 1, in which he read a series of general how-to questions sent in by viewers during the season. That's so cool. And Bob answered them one at a time, technique by technique, until he had completed an entire painting. Ross and Ridge's marriage ended in divorce in 1977. Ross and his second wife, Jane, had no children together. In 1992, Jane died of cancer, and in 1995, 2 months before his death, Ross married for a third time to Linda Brown. Ross was very secretive about his life and had a great liking for privacy. Some of only a few interviews with his close-knit circle of friends and family can be found in the 2011 PBS documentary Bob Ross, The Happy Painter. Bob Ross, Inc. is protective of his intellectual property, and his privacy is still to this day. That's so refreshing, man. That's the fact
makes
that
you wonder what he's hiding. No.
Well, you know what? I kind of look at Bob Ross almost like, old, Steve Rogers, where when he goes to shake, Falcon's hand and Falcon looks at him and he's like, "You want to tell me about her?" And he's like, "No, I don't think I will." He's like, "I'm keeping that. That's for me."
Yeah.
It's just, that's even in the way he handled things, he was wholesome. Like, it's like, it's insane. Like, you probably can't find any dirt on him. There is no lost tape of Bob Ross where he's losing his shit or anything like that.
Maybe there is. We just haven't paid enough money yet.
I'll scour Reddit. We'll see what's going on. No, but
that's true. Like, that's very, you're right. Very refreshing. So,
then just to finish up, as far as the facts are concerned on him, it says his death, Ross died at the age of 52 on July 4th, 1995, due to complications from lymphoma. His remains are interred at Woodland Memorial Park in Gotha, Florida, under a plaque marked Bob Ross, television artist. Ross kept his diagnosis a secret from the general public. His lymphoma was not known outside of the circle of his family and friends until after his death. So I think like probably around 1994 or whatever, like when he was on his last season, he just ended it.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, guys, thank you. It's been great. We're moving on. So, like, good for him. Like, he didn't meddle in things as far as like, having anything seep into his personal life and all that's like, it's good for him. Like that's awesome.
That is good. I always thought that was kind of cool that he was just kind of, you're right. He didn't really know much about him.
So we're going to have a little fun here. These are questions on Google about Bob Ross, and we're just going to see if you are able to get somewhere close or anything to that effect.
Okay.
So we know for a fact that if you get it right, yellow. If you get it wrong, not that one. There we go. They're right next to each other.
Right
Perfect.
next to each other.
Okay.
Right.
So, first question that is in the list of people also ask from the thing that I asked on here, which was Bob Ross's most valuable painting. Not a lot came up for that. Up here, it says Happy Little Money Trees. It says a Happy Little Money Trees, a $60 painting bought in 1980 turns out to be a Bob Ross original. So it was like an article about somebody like happened to cross one. It's on mentalfloss.com. So that's the first thing that pops up if you type in his most valuable painting. But on the people also ask, how much do you think a Bob Ross original painting is worth today? If you had to guess.
How much it's worth?
Yeah, if let's say that we had the most like the one we were watching last night. Say that you had through a crazy amount of situations, you had that in your hands.
Yeah.
How much do you think that would be worth?
I feel like I've like heard this, and it's not very much. I think it's like, I'm going to say like, I want to say thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, but I want to say probably like $200.
You were correct in thinking that it's not thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, but Bob Ross's paintings are selling online for $8,000 to $10,000 in the recent years. Altogether, it says Joan Kowalski, president of Bob Ross Inc., said that he has seen authentic Ross paintings sell for online for $8,000 to $10,000.
Wow.
So
I swear I saw something the one time where they're like, they're not as expensive as you think they are.
Well, yeah, compared to other pieces of art that maybe you could find, like, it's like, yeah, like some art can go for millions or go for like, depending on things. But let's see, we're not going to do that one because that one's a dumb one. So do you think that you would even be able to sell that painting? Say you had it in your hands. Do you think you'd be able to sell it?
What do you mean as far as like
do you think that they would allow you to sell it? Do you think that's
clearly if they're going on eBay for $8,000 to $10,000?
Check this out. As long as Toy don't try to claim that it was painted by Bob Ross, you can sell it all if you want. It's legal. It's simply your painting. Don't claim it's Bob Ross's and you're fine. Apparently, I don't know that verbiage on that wasn't correct.
So
was
you
weird.
Can't say it's. Then how do you know what you're trying to get?
That's apparently that is something that is like you can't sell it as a Bob Ross painting. Apparently, it's I don't know. It's really weird.
Then how do you find paintings?
There is something in here that talks about a museum of his, or like there's a display that all of his paintings are in fact there. So like the idea of like what they would be valued at are talked about, but you would never be able to sell one just because I think that it's like that sacred of a thing where it's like he probably had something in his will of like, he didn't want them to be sold or didn't want them to be.
So you can't get one? Probably
not. No. Yeah. They are locked away and they are.
Then what's the point, Bob?
I think that for him, that's not what it was about. It was about teaching people.
Right, but then what the fuck are they? Then now they're just sitting there collecting fucking dust and something, and nobody's.
It's interesting that you ask why. Why are Bob Ross paintings not for sale? This is not a question for you. This is just we're seeing what this says. It says art teachers do demonstrations known as demos all the time for every class. And Bob Ross did 3 for each show that aired. 1 beforehand, 1 during the actual show, and 1 afterwards. No wonder he chose not to sell those on-air paintings. They were a process pieces meant only for the on-air show. They were not works of art of his that he did in his personal time. They were just tutorial pieces. That's how he viewed those, or how they were.
So then you can get those. You can't get actual Bob Ross paintings, is what they're saying.
That makes more sense. Yeah.
You can get his.
I didn't think about that with him doing his personal stuff too, because again, those were just
so
to
you
show you.
So you can buy the tutorial ones.
Yeah, it's
okay.
It's ridiculous.
Okay, yeah, that does make sense. He's not giving you his like personal shit. That's fine. Here. I'm okay with that. I'll have something that was on TV. That you can like watch him paint, and I'll be like, I bought that one, motherfucker.
Oh my gosh.
Season 7, episode 4.
The easiest Bob Ross paintings for beginners. I just saw this when I had to click on this. There are 5. 5th place is Peaceful Waters from season 3. 4th place is Gray Winter from season 7. 3rd place is Quiet Pond from season 5. 2nd place, Final Reflections from season 1. And 1st place, The Grandeur of Summer, which was a special episode that was done. So if you want to look those up, if you're interested in learning how to paint, and apparently those are the top 5 easiest paintings that he did. Let's see here.
That's the ones I'm going to paint. I'm going to try and paint then. We'll show you guys. So stay tuned in the future, maybe in the next year.
Okay, it could be good, especially because you were saying that you were just gonna set it up in the living room with like your having like the panel and everything with your brushes. I figured I'd probably come home, look up, and just not say a word and be like, okay, and just walk around like I'm just gonna leave you alone, let you focus, like just let you do your thing.
Yep.
So
best to do that.
So these questions weren't exactly working out the way that I wanted them to for the thing. So which one did we not get yet? There you go. You can feel better. So, no, it's ridiculous. A lot of this is working out just to be some facts. These kind of had the mentality that they seemed like they were going to be a little easier to answer, but regardless, we're still learning about them. So, are Bob Ross's paintings copyrighted? It says the entire content included in this site, and bobross.com, says including but not limited to text, graphics, or code is copyrighted as a collective work under the United States and other copyright laws and is property of bobross.com. The collective work includes works that are licensed to the website as well. So I guess somehow like these guys have some stuff on there or whatever. So it's like they are in fact copyrighted. So we wouldn't be able to like throw them in a video or things like that, or use them in a way that would be against that type of thing. But let's see here. There's so much information on him. Like it's insane. Like this goes so deep into this, is talking about like, the idea of what does this type of white mean? What kind of oil painting is that? People have looked that up because they want to know. Like it's insane. I think that what blows me away about him is I get the vibe from people sometimes whenever they're too nice or they're too like they're so nice they make you sick.
Yeah.
Like it's that type of thing where it's like I've heard it put before, like happy Jesus people, like that type of thing where like you're oh, like no, like you can't be that glossed over just like nothing bothers me thing. Like we all know it's inauthentic. So Ross never really did that. He was just straightforward. He was just like what I loved about him was that watching him be deep into his work of what he was doing, and he was just, all he said was, he's like, remember, this is your world. You create it. It is what you want it to be. if you want a tree that has 3 branches and that's all that it has, it's yours. You know, it's
Right.
it's that he made it seem like it was just okay to try. Like it was insane.
Right. And, you know, it's like I said, he makes it seem so simple and so easy, which, I mean, to a degree, it might be, but I know that I can't. I mean, I would never be able to really do that. I mean, that's just you know, he was an artist. I am not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so to just pick up a brush to just try it once or twice, I mean, I don't know, that may even just be like a disgrace to painting, but you know, it's something that like I honestly do kind of want to try to do one day.
I mean, here's the worst.
All
that can
joking
happen.
aside,
Well, I mean, here's the worst thing that can happen. It just won't work.
right?
You know, it's like you already know that's the worst thing that can happen.
And then
so,
that's when we'll have to do the parody of Bob Ross. Then
I think also you should do a live stream while you're doing it. Like, we're gonna see how this tutorial goes. It's all fair use. Fuck off, YouTube. You know, just like I'm just doing my thing. You know?
right.
But no, I think that you could actually really surprise yourself. Like it's
You
kind
think?
of genuinely because it's
nah.
Look, man, I can't lead,
don't know.
I can't make
We'll
you
see.
drink the water. I can only lead you to it. So you know,
We'll see.
so-
We'll see. We'll see what happens when that day comes.
I guess my question for you is that if you could have creative freedom to do whatever you would want with a painting, say you could paint a painting, what do you think you would want to paint in the style of Bob Ross? If you like maybe like a favorite setting of yours, even if it's something very, very personal, or like, you know, if it's maybe something you just love or whatever, because I know what I would do, but I'm just curious as to what you would do. If you had to, I just thought of this. I'm like, that'd be kind of like an interesting thing. It's like, you know, like what do you think you would attempt, or what do you think that you would love to accomplish?
Probably like probably either one of two things. Like, obviously it's all scenery, right? So I would say either I know it sounds cliche, but I feel like it would probably be an interesting, like quote, easy one to do, but like the Grand Canyon of some sorts. But
There's a lot of detail in that.
Canada, when on the little island, like,
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I know exactly what you're.
So-
Yep.
that's kind of like what he does.
Now, would you do Canada during the day, or would you do it at night?
Probably the day.
Okay.
I would say maybe like more towards like a sunset though. Like little
okay.
more oranges and yellows to
The
it.
reds and the pinks
Yeah.
and the cloud cover, those
Right.
skinny fuckers that go across the sky and
Yeah.
stuff. They're doing those little dabs,
Yeah.
little strokes, little things like that.
So yeah,
insane.
I would say probably something like that. Would be, like I said, probably like a lot of similarities to like what he like normally does.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's it blows my mind so much that you can even think about that, where it's like you're already thinking about the colors in that too, where you're just like, oh well, yeah, it's like, you would like, this is exactly what it would take. It's what it would do this. Like that's why I feel that it's a very feasible thing. Like, I personally think that if you can hold a paintbrush and if you can follow instructions, I think you can do a Bob Ross painting. It's kind of like how Mama always used to say it, where it was just like, if you can read, you can cook. So
Yeah.
I think that there's, I think that when it comes
I've
to
lived by that law for a long time.
if you can read, you can cook. God. And she always made "Shut Up and Eat It." God bless her.
Fuck yeah, those are the best, dude.
What version of "Shut Up and Eat It" did you get?
Oh, dude, it did all of it. Like, honestly, there
There
was
a dish that our mama would give us that it was literally called "Shut Up and Eat
Well,
It." And so-
it was just all it is that it's basically like, if you haven't gone to the store, or it's, oh shit, I forgot to cook something, or like whatever. It's just like what you had around the house. And obviously
God, that woman could cook. Oh,
right. She didn't always cook. But
Right,
no,
right.
that's a different story. But no, so you just kind of throw it all together, And obviously it's edible, but when they ask what it is, she's like, I don't know, I'm going to shut up and eat it. Like there is no name. It's just the stuff I had.
It was like, don't complain. You have your food.
Yeah.
Eat your food.
Eat
and
your
you'll
food.
Be fine.
It's not disgusting. It's edible at least, but
not asking for much from you. I'm asking for 20 minutes for you to sit at this table, eat your food, and you can be on your merry way.
Right.
Like it's
I'm not saying this is an exact thing, but it could be one of those like, okay, well, Hamburger Helper, we didn't have beef, so you had to use, like other stuff instead, like, more vegetables or like peas and, in there instead. And that's what is it? Oh, fucking shut up and eat it, dude.
Yeah.
It's half-ass stroganoff. Like,
what's weird is that what always stands out to me, and I don't even know if it was even a thing. Like this could very well be a fever dream, but I remember shut up and eat it. When I think of the actual dish that I associate it with, is like a crispier, slightly saltier, but super cheesy and nicely just soused lasagna. There was something that she did where it was not burnt. It was just brown and crispy. And it was like, that's how Mama made food. Like it was good.
Well, that's a normal lasagna, man.
No, dude, this was different. It was different. It wasn't a lasagna. It was, I don't know what she put in it. It
just may have been one of her things that night. Or like that she kind of just always had staples of that. That's the thing, man, is it wasn't always the same thing.
Correct. Right.
It's just things of that nature to where it's not, you're right. It is a lasagna, but it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's this kind of a lasagna because, well, that's what she had.
Yeah.
So no, it's all good. It's all fucking good. No matter how you look at it.
Yeah. I remember Mom just saying that like when, we got a couple of recipes from her and we were living at Aunt Heidi's, and I remember looking at Mama, and I can't remember what we were making, but I was just like, can we do this? Like, is this are we able to do this? Like we can, she said, yeah. She's like, we have the ingredients. She's like, what does that temperature say? And I was like, well, it says, 400. She's like, okay, so preheat the oven to 400, and like, I would go through the step process with her. And I was like, wow, I'm like, that actually wasn't that hard. And that's when I was first exposed to that. She's like, Mama always said, if you can read, you can cook.
Now, there's a little bit of a difference than you can hold a paintbrush, you can paint, though, compared to that. But yes, right. The comparison is definitely there when you have a mentality like that where you don't let it be intimidating. Mm-hmm. When you don't let it be intimidating to you, then it's not so scary.
No.
So cooking while painting and cooking are kind of two different animals. It is kind of the same in the fact of, well, I didn't know what I was doing when I started cooking. Now I just go in there and just fucking cook shit. Now, is it always top notch A1? No, but
it was like that shrimp you made the other night, dude. It was stellar, and it was the simplest thing, and it was so good.
Butter, garlic, and onion salt.
Again, see, you say that from the perspective of the guy that made it. I am still Dorothy the Cowardly Lion and, the Scarecrow and in the Tin Man sitting outside. I haven't seen the curtain be pulled back. I didn't get to see the process. Right. All I know is the end result, and I freaking loved it. It was
the trick is you don't overcook it, because once you start getting it to where it starts curling too much, it means you've overcooked it, and then it gets chewy.
Yeah.
So it's only in there for a few minutes, but you let that. But anyways, we're getting off of Bob Ross here because we're talking about foods. But
we got to do a food episode soon.
It's definitely I think that everybody should be exposed to, man, is definitely Bob Ross. He's definitely something that I don't want to say shaped people's childhoods, but in a sense, I've seen and heard some of the most, quote, toughest bad boys out there. They're like, fucking Bob Ross slaps, dude.
Dude, yeah. Yeah. There's this moment that happens when you see somebody who for a fact is so combative on every point or whatever, but when they look at you and they're like, oh God, no, Bob Ross, he's ridiculous. He's he's insane. He's one of the best painters I've ever seen. As far as how he creates stuff, even when you can make those people do that, like it is the Fred Rogers mentality of like when he met those, gang members or whatever and stuff. And they just
respected him.
They just retorted or resorted back to like their childhood. Like, it's Mr. Rogers. Like, oh my God, Mr. Rogers. Hi. Like, it's just like, it's that type of thing. Like, I mean, they really do share a lot of that. I mean, they have a lot of nostalgia for my mind, because like they kind of coincide like with a lot of things, but I don't know. It's so wild whenever you just get to see how somebody can positively impact you instead of negatively impact you. Like, a lot of the times, like what I'm seeing now, especially like with like YouTube and like, just the people that I follow. And I mean, I'm a part of this too. I mean, like I've had my moments that I've complained, or I've, been a cringe lord, or I've had, those things. But what I find is so rare is people that are the Bob Rosses of YouTube, where it's like they do nothing but edify you. They do nothing but just like, I mean, you probably get that a lot more with your ASMRs, like especially with the female voices and stuff. Maybe there's like more like edification that would happen there, like that they're creating an atmosphere that you feel safe in.
Yeah.
Things like that. I get that a bit through like the music and like the lo-fi and stuff that, TJ showed me, and like the things I like to throw on whenever I'm either writing or if I'm cleaning or doing things like that. But basically what it comes down to is that I feel like we need more Bob Rosses.
Yeah.
We're not saying we need more people to paint, but like we need more people to identify with that, where like you don't want to take on a task like that. And I would say that it is a task. Like, you are taking care of an audience member that of a, following that could grow very large. And it's one of those things where like, more people rely on your edification. They rely on you, having a good attitude and things like that.
Yep.
And it's that whole Pajim the Clown thing, where it's like, just go see Pajim the Clown, the town clown, and the guy that comes to him that's depressed, and he's like, well, or the town mayor that this guy has come to him who's depressed, he's just like, he's like, well, I'm upset, and the town mayor says, well, just go see Pajim the Clown. He'll make you feel better. And it's just like, no, you don't understand. I am Pajim.
Right.
And it's so like it's meant as like a really horrible joke. Like, it is kind of funny in a dark way, but in the same hand too, is that you spend so much time edifying other people, you forget to take care of yourself.
Yeah. Sharpen your axe.
Yeah. And I'm really blown away by just how much Bob Ross got that, like how much he got, and he understood that. Now he kept his personal life and his, professional life very separate, which good for him. So, I mean,
it was easier to do back then.
Well, correct. But,
a lot easier to do.
Who knows? Maybe he was a Pajim. Maybe that was the only time that really he had some control, and that he was just like, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
that's true.
I prefer to not really delve into those things, because I think that's a dangerous place that you can get into, where you're like,
oh my
God.
Lost.
Yeah, it's, but because I mean, everybody knows what it's like to be in that kind of a situation of where like, you're being strong for everybody else when you can barely hold on, know? And I think that when it comes to Bob Ross, is that it's like from what I understand, in the however many episodes and however many paintings and everything he did, which is something I want to actually, we will wrap up on, because I wanted to, something I forgot about was I wanted to be sure that we looked at, how many episodes.
Probably 200.
200? Do you think there's 200?
225.
Many
It's probably like
episodes.
941.
Okay.
7.
This shit's crazy, dude. When you think about this, I mean, I understand that it's very simple. It's just a guy that's just painting something, then he's very good at what he does. This is like Swisscar from Death Clock doing tutorials every week. Like, he won't run out of material. Like, he's always going to have something to like show. Like, it's what he loves, and he will always have something to show. But number of seasons, 31. Number of episodes,
31.
31 seasons, yes.
Doesn't make sense. It was only from
They
83 to 94.
I can guarantee you, with the amount of paintings that he was able to push out and able to do, that they took them and basically had a surplus of it, where they were like, wow, this is enough to fill a season. We're good. They didn't have to actually film for a year. or like have it be like a year. Cause like I always look at like a season, like every season is like a year of like a chapter out of that. But no, he did 31 seasons and 403 episodes.
Oh my God.
The running time for all of them being about 30 minutes. I did see one today. I was at work, so like I didn't want to like dedicate myself. I'll throw on Bob Ross in the background or whatever if I'm like, working on stuff because I'm always working in Adobe.
That's a good like background noise too.
But he did do hour-long specials where he
I've seen that.
He made a really good statement at the beginning of it
where
he said. He's like, if this is your very first time watching this tape, he said, my recommendation for you is to put your painting stuff away, sit down with a nice glass of iced tea and watch me first. Because he's like, I want you to understand the route that we're going to be taking because it was a more detailed thing that he was going to work on. So it perplexed me so much that there's just a guy that took the time to not only do 403 episodes and 31 seasons. It's ridiculous.
That's insane.
That is, like I said, that is
dedication.
With an episode a day, you would be over a year to be able to get through the entirety of everything that's in Bob Ross. So think about this. If you watched him once a week, you'd have enough to be able to take you through the good majority of like the remainder of your life. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, it's just 403 weeks. Like it's just, the idea of like what that would be.
Right.
So
let's do it.
I'm about it. I'm all right.
No, let's do a season a week. No, I'm just kidding.
We're going to do nothing but exclusively watch Bob Ross.
Yeah.
He is going to formulate every creative thing I have for every story. And
we'll be back
videos.
Next month. We're not going to record for like 2 or 3 weeks.
We're just going to watch Bob Ross videos.
Straight up.
So, and eat buffalo wings. It'll be great. I'm thinking about doing wings tomorrow.
Oh, yeah?
I'm genuinely thinking about it. We haven't had a moment to break out in a minute, so I'm thinking about I'm genuinely considering it. So I can't find a good reason not to. So, but
hell yeah.
No, Bob Ross is something that he's someone that I am very proud to say that I was able to learn something from and to be able to just like I've had a lot of ambition this year to want to come up with some things or do some things that are very different and new and crazy as far as like writing things. And it comforted me in such a weird way for him to be like, to hear that statement of like, this is your world. You can make it what you want. And it's like, now the idea of me creating a world for a story rather than creating a world in a painting, I get it. They're two very different things, but
sure.
Artistically, it's nice to know that where it's like, it's like that whole idea of where Patton Oswalt is on, Fairly Odd Parents writing for the Crimson Chin. And he's like, it shows the real world of him writing and he's like living in his mom's basement. And he's like, if it is for every zit that is on a child's face, the Crimson Chin would never say that unless I make him. So it's that like you have that ability to be that, controlling over your creativity and everything like that. You can do whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
But in the same hand, I love that he never once took a painting and then like, I don't know, added like a UFO or something crazy. Like his paintings were always cohesive.
What it was doing.
He allowed the art to define itself. It was kind of like how we always talked about Aunt Charity, like how she would always like whenever she would sculpt or she would do things is that she's like, there's two ways you can look at sculpting is that you can look at it as in I'm creating this or I am, I don't know if she said it this way, but I am birthing this thing like here's the shoulder, here's where her like almost like you're digging this woman if you're sculpting a woman out of marble or whatever. It's like you are essentially just releasing her from this marble prison that she's in, and it's such a crazy out there like artistic way to look at it. But
that's how you gotta like think, and that's probably how Bob Ross looks at it, and that's how he's always explains it. I
am just, I think that quite honestly, I am so thankful that Bob Ross has been reintroduced into my life. I mean, seriously, like it sounds corny and dumb, but it's true, dude. Like it's good. Like it's nice to be able to just see how shamelessly creative and simple that man was and what he was able to do with it. Like in his technique, like not him as a person, but like as his technique of what he did. Like that is what always perplexed me. And like, because Luke was here last night too, and we were watching it, and it was just like, I was like, dude, like he's making wood right now. Oh, that's what I was gonna say, was that he had these 2 or 3 colors together on one side of the paintbrush, and then he had brown on the other, which still had a multicolor thing into it too. And he added layers into it to make it look like wood. Like, who thinks like that?
That's what I'm saying,
it's
man.
insane.
He would just do that all the time. Like, how the fuck? And that's where it's just a mind blow. But you're right. He's just something that nobody's ever going to duplicate.
Yeah, I continue to be blown away by him. I could talk about Bob Ross for hours.
I got to watch the OG ones, so I got to watch them as they were like really coming out.
See, I even didn't get that because I was born in 92 and he passed away in 95. His show ended in 94. I didn't really get to see Bob Ross until I was maybe like 6 or 7. So you're a part of the OG club, like genuinely. That's an insane thing. I got to watch reruns. So
mic drop.
But nevertheless, though, guys, this has just been 2 guys talking about Bob Ross. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, then go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell as well. If you want more of the radio show feel of things, you can go ahead and head over to Spotify and follow us over there. Both support us and both are great. So thank you. And Eric, do you have anything else that you would like to say before we sign off?
Yeah, Thor, shut up.
All right. I 100% agree. Knock it off. All right. Adios, guys. Thanks for joining us.